Hey everyone, today we're diving into a really profound idea from a piece of Christian devotional writing, this concept of soul development. The author makes a pretty bold claim, calling it the single highest calling for a Christian. So let's unpack what that really means together. So let me ask you something right off the bat. What do you think is the world's most important job? Seriously, is it a doctor, saving lives, a teacher, shaping the next generation? Well, the source we're digging into today has a very different and honestly kind of surprising answer. Get this, the author of this text was once asked what they did for a living, and their answer was, "I'm into soul development." That's a job title that makes you stop and think, right? It's meant to be a little startling, to make you ask the very question we're about to answer. What in the world does that actually mean?
All right, so first things first, what is soul development? Let's get right to the core definition and figure out what the source is talking about when it uses this term soul winner.
Here it is. According to our source, soul development is the work of turning people from darkness to light and training them in righteousness. And notice, it's not just a one-time thing. It's really a two-part process. First, there's that turning point, the conversion. And then there's the ongoing training and discipleship. Now, this idea isn't just pulled out of thin air. The source grounds it deep in Scripture, pointing right here to Daniel chapter 12. It promises that those who turn many to righteousness will shine like the stars forever. So this reframes the whole thing. It's not just a good deed. It's about building a lasting, eternal legacy. Okay, so that's what it is. But why does the source call it the greatest work? Let's explore the reasoning behind this, why this calling is seen as being so incredibly glorious. To really explain this, the source uses this beautiful metaphor. It compares all the regular trees in the world with what it calls trees of righteousness. These special trees, it says, are what get raised up every time a soul is won for Christ, and they're described as the planting of the Lord with one ultimate purpose, to bring him glory. And that powerful phrase, it comes directly from Isaiah 61. By linking soul winning to this specific scripture, the source really elevates the work. It's no longer just a human effort, it becomes a divine, glory-giving act. And the idea just keeps building from there. The source goes on to frame soul development as more than just an important job, it's a truly divine calling. In fact, it's presented as God's #1 priority. The whole foundation for this argument is probably the most famous verse in the entire Bible, John 3:16. The source presents God's ultimate act of love, giving his Son, as the ultimate act of soul winning for the entire world. Think about it. He gave his absolute best to win humanity back. So the logic is pretty direct. If God's primary motivation for sending Jesus was to win the world, then this devotional concludes that God's #1 job, his absolute top priority, is soul winning. And the conclusion that flows from that premise is simple, but wow, is it powerful. If that is God's top priority, then according to this text, there simply is no higher calling for a Christian to pursue. Period. So we've covered the what and the why. But what about the how? How does a concept this big translate into something you do every day, a personal passion and pursuit? Well, the source lays out 3 really clear, actionable steps. First, it says to actively strategize with the Spirit on what more you can do. Second, to consciously make reaching souls your daily passion. And third, to center everything you have, your best ideas, your skills, your energy, around this one central goal. This really drives home how central this is supposed to be. This isn't a side hobby or, a weekend activity. The source frames soul development as your core focus. It's your calling, your purpose, and your ministry, all rolled into one. It's the whole shebang. To bring all these ideas together, the devotional material concludes with this powerful declaration. It's called a winner's confession, and it's basically a personal prayer for someone who sees themselves as a soul winner. It starts with, "Thank you for making me a soul winner." Just take a moment and read the whole thing on the screen. It's a powerful statement of identity, and it's designed to shift a person's mindset from "I should do this" to "I am this." A soul winner, equipped and ready to go. So the source lays out this really compelling case for soul development as a Christian's highest calling. We've gone from its core definition all the way to its divine purpose. The final question, then, is a personal one for all of us. How can you be a soul winner today?